Hello everyone, xForts here. Today we're going to be talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond Records, the mobile game that was announced about a month ago during the JoJo 30th anniversary celebration. So since then, we've had some new information announced for it. So today we're going to go over everything we know so far about Diamond Records, how the game's going to play, what the in-game mechanics are going to be like, playable characters and stages, and all that. So unfortunately, we don't actually have a set-in-stone release date for this game yet, but I'm just going to predict that it will be first quarter 2017 because we already have a lot of information about this game, and they've already showed a lot of gameplay too, so if not first quarter, definitely first half of 2017. But for now, let's just talk about the information on this game that we do know. So, Diamond Records will be a 3D action mobile game featuring content from various parts of JoJo. For now, it looks like we're just going to get content and playable characters and stages from parts 1 through 4. It's assumed that it may have updates in the future, and some of those updates may include future parts. So, it looks like the theme right now is they're just focusing on the parts that are animated. So, if in time Part 5 gets an anime, we could see Part 5 stages and characters added to this game eventually, and maybe even beyond that. So this game is going to be free to play. You don't have to pay any money to download it, and you can play it for free, obviously, but the game will include in-app purchases, otherwise known as microtransactions, which is expected from a mobile game releasing in 2017, especially when it's free to play. So from the gameplay that we've seen, Diamond Records is going to be a 3D fighting game more similar to Eyes of Heaven than All-Star Battle, how the characters run around and move in a three-dimensional space. It looks like the majority of battles are going to be one-on-one, but there has also been shown horde battles where a main character will face various side characters like zombies and vampires from parts 1 and 2, and then just thugs and delinquents from parts 3 and 4. So, of course, all of the stages in this game are based off the different settings and environments from the anime and manga, and it's actually nice to see that they're not just reusing the stages used in All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven, but most of the stages are actually new and unique ones that we haven't seen in any other JoJo game before, so that's very nice to see. And of course, they have already announced all of the stages that will be in the game as of right now, but this could change depending on how much longer the game is in development, so they could possibly add more before the game's release date. But as of right now, the current stages that are in the game that they have announced are Wind Knight's Lot Hill from Part 1, Mexico Desert and Mexico Military Base from Part 2, Tiger Balm Garden, Enya Zombie Town, and Cairo from Part 3, Morio Station, Angelo Rock, and Morio's Rooftops from Part 4. So as you can see, Diamond Records will have a lot of new stages based off various locations throughout the series that we have not seen adapted into a game yet. But of course, there are a few carryover stages like Cairo and Morio Station, but those stages are a bit iconic as they were both in All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven. So I really don't have a problem with them being in this game either because they're good stages. Now on to some in-game mechanics. So the characters that you use are called statues. So of course, the statues are based off all of the different playable characters in the game, varying from parts 1 through 4 that we'll get onto a bit later, but depending on what statue you have will determine your character's hit points, attack, and defense. And the statues have levels going all the way up to 99 and also a rarity value that is ranked in stars going from 1 to 5. So say you have a Rohan Kishibe statue with 1 star, that's probably assumed it will have very weak hit points, attack, and defense, and also a low level. But if you have a Rohan statue that has 5 stars, it will most likely have incredible hit points, attack, and defense, and also a very high level. So those are your statues, the playable characters that you'll acquire and use throughout the game, but your statues can actually be equipped with special cinematic attacks called mines. And mines, similar to statues, have a rarity ranking based on stars. So 3 stars would be silver, 4 stars gold. So of course, the higher star mine you have, the rarer it will be and the better it will be. So the way I see mines are sort of dual heat attacks or great heat attacks that you equip to your statue, enabling them to do sort of a super attack. So I'm not sure if it will actually change the cinematic that they do depending on the stars, or say just a 1 star will actually have the same cinematic as a 5 star, just the 5 star will do more damage. We'll have to see when the game comes out, or if they provide some more information on that. As for some more game mechanics, your statues can also be organized into teams of 3, with one of the 3 statues being designated as the leader. So I assume before you go on a mission in the game, you assemble your team of 3 statues, and then throughout the mission, you can swap between the 3. Of course, only being able to play as one at a time, your leader. And there is also a friendship point system that is used to improve the synergy between statues. So statues with high friendship points will cooperate better and work together in teams. Or maybe the team all share this stat, and the more you use those statues together, the higher their stat will go. And that's pretty much all the information we know right now of the in-game mechanics and how the game's going to work. So I'm really not the biggest advocate of anime mobile games. I'm not sure if any of you guys play these like Dokkan Battle, and I know there's a Hunter x Hunter one, so this sounds very new to me, but I'm sure it's very similar to other mobile games out there. So let me know if you guys are part of the anime mobile game community, if this is breaking the norm or it's just really copying what other games are doing. But really the only other information we know is the playable characters, so let's just go down the list here. For Phantom Blood, we have Jonathan Joestar and William Zeppeli. For Battle Tendency, we have Joseph Joestar, Caesar Zeppeli, Lisa, and Stroheim. Stardust Crusaders, we have all the Crusaders, Jotaro, Joseph, Avdol, Kakyoin, Polnareff, Iggy, and for villains, this is a bit interesting. We have Whole Horse, Daniel J. Darby, Enya the Hag, Pet Shop, and Dio. So it's interesting to see a Darby in there and also Enya. We haven't been able to play as any of those characters in any other game before, so hopefully they're not just enemies and we can actually play as them. And for Diamond is Unbreakable, we have Josuke Higashikata, Jotaro, Koichi, Okuyasu, Rohan, Yukako, Shigechi, Keicho Nijimura, which is really cool, seeing him as a playable character. We also have Tonio with Pearl Jam, Angelo with Aqua Necklace, Stray Cat, and Yoshikage Kira. So we actually see a couple new playable characters here, being Keicho and Tonio, and also Angelo. Even Stray Cat, if we get to play as him as well. So I really like this, how they're not just taking characters that we've already seen in other games. It's nice that we see new characters. And as of right now, I'm officially hyped for Diamond Records. I could definitely see myself grinding this game a lot, you know, trying to get high star characters and high star mines and doing missions. So Diamond Records is definitely a game that I'm looking forward to, and I plan on doing videos for it as well. So if you guys want to be playing this game alongside me when it comes out and also stay up to date with videos that I'll be making about this game, you need to pre-register. There will be instructions on your screen right now. Very simple. You just need to go to the website. There will be a link in the description. Select either email or Twitter, and then it'll be brought to another page that wants you to select either iOS or Android. And then once you select your preferred platform, you will have another option to select, once again, email or Twitter, and then you just need to insert your Twitter account or email address and then confirm it. And then once the game releases, you will get an email that has a link to either the iTunes Store or Google Play Store with a download link to the game. So I highly suggest you do that if you guys want to be playing this game alongside me. Okay, now for the question. I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking, is it going to have an English release? I have no idea. As long as the game is supported and as long as enough of us either tweet at them or say that we want the game localized, hopefully Bandai or whoever is in charge of localizing games will do that. But as of right now, I think there's pretty high hopes. So obviously not when the game first comes out, maybe a couple months after, then we'll hear talks or even just an announcement that the game is now in English. But I highly suggest if we want the game in English, we just have to tweet at Bandai and tweet at the Diamond Records Twitter account and just let them know that we want it. Links to both those accounts will also be in the description if you want to tweet at them. But as of right now, it appears the game will only be releasing in Japanese. And for a game like this, it doesn't seem that bad. It's really just equipping different mines to your statues, assembling your team, and then just going off and doing missions. So I assume we're going to get these statues and mines by some sort of summoning system, and I can see that is where the in-game purchases are going to come into place. So we spend a certain amount of money, we get a certain amount of points that allow us to summon either different mines and statues with RNG. Say $5 allows 5 summons. Those 5 summons can vary in their rarity. So a system like that, or whatever other system these mobile games use for summoning different characters. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about Diamond Records. I'm pretty hyped for this game, and I can't wait for it to release. But with the game only being in Japanese, it seems what we're going to need to learn how to do is navigate the menus, learn how to summon things, and I'm sure reading the stats are going to be very easy because we can all see how many stars a character is, and we're just going to need to learn where the positioning or the symbols for the attack, health, and defense are. So I'm sure after a few days with the game, we'll be able to navigate it just fine, and it really won't be that big of an issue. But it would be really nice to see this game get an English release at some point. So if we find out any more news or anything else is released about this game, I'll definitely make an updated video, but for now, we'll just wait for it to release. So definitely subscribe if you guys want to see Diamond Records videos. And let me know if you guys are hyped for this game and if you're going to be playing it when it releases. Other than that, like the video if I fought your boredom, and thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed.